Good morning and welcome to Monday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom. And today we are back to outrageous openness. We have another chapter to read in there, and don't freak about the word chapter because it's usually kind of like bathroom reading, 2 or 3 pages. But this is a very good chapter for where we're at in our evolution. And I think it calls us to action in a way that many of us can truly respond with. Good morning, Angie. You're the first one here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you had a lovely weekend. It was beautiful weather other than the messy smoke from the fires. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome. Glad you're here. So we'll give it a minute for people to gather, and then hopefully this is a thought-provoking chapter in Tosha Silver that gets us all making some modifications to things that we're thinking and doing and putting out into the world. We shall see. And I had the unfortunate experience of yet another classmate passing away. So that's 2 in less than 2 weeks, I think. So it kind of gives one pause to be considering, where am I at? What am I doing? Am I accomplishing what I want to be accomplishing? Am I learning the lessons I'm meant to be learning? Etc., etc. And as I was sitting here thinking before jumping on here, there's a weird juxtaposition between the doer in me and the aspect of me that's being guided. Wait, be patient, allow the unfolding, let go, be in flow. It's counterintuitive that when it feels like time is passing, to sit and wait. But that is the message over and over and over again, so I'm going to do my best to heed it. I liked the little thing that popped into my head a week or 2 ago about go about your business. Go about your business, let the universe go about its business, see what happens. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. There's my Miss Piggy and Kermit. Glad to see them today. Waiting is not my strong suit. It's certainly not waiting patiently. Not my strong suit at all. So to be practicing that. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. It was nice seeing you yesterday on the Zoom call. That was lovely. Thank you for the hearts and the rainbow, Carolyn. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. And both of the individuals who passed away, their last names at the point where I was in school with them began with the letter M. So they were in my homeroom. So it was a huge class, absolutely humongous. But because they were in my homeroom, I kind of knew both of them somewhat. So yeah, weird. But it gives you pause, makes you think. Hopefully out of that comes useful things. So yes, so things that are moving forward include clearing more clutter, becoming lighter on our feet so that we are able to pivot when called to do so. Appreciating things. Like yesterday my brother came and got a whole bunch of lilies of the valley for the pond that he has redone at his house. And as I was cleaning up that area after he was gone and moving a plant that was being crowded elsewhere into that space, I was appreciating being outside, it being a little bit cooler, hearing music in the distance because Mile of Music was finishing up, etc., etc., etc. Just the little stuff, and slowing things down enough to notice them. And on a Monday, maybe that's a good lesson, because how many of us hit the ground running on Mondays? Good morning, Gwen. Another one of the people who was on yesterday's call, and we had a lovely Zoom call, opportunity to connect and share about things that were important and maybe discern a bit and tweak our own choices a bit. All good stuff. All good stuff. So, Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead by Tosha Silver. Let's prepare ourselves for this verse. A little bit of tapping, a little bit of breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Sending your roots down into Mother Earth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting go of anything that no longer serves. In through the nose, drawing in healing golden light. Out through the mouth, moving that through every cell of your being. Just breathing, receiving, feeling yourself open to this message that's coming from this book today. And again, my opinion, there are no accidents. Things show up when they're meant to show up. So for those of you who have the book, this is chapter 6, page 73 in my book. Be what you seek. Good morning, Nancy. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. Be what you seek. Your word is your law. So we're in Tosha. Your word is your law. So the quote is by someone who is anonymous. Kind of a bummer because this is a great one. And I would have loved for them to receive credit for this. But thoughts are boomerangs, returning with precision to their source. Choose wisely what you throw. Choose wisely what you throw. So be examining your thoughts. Be a purveyor of your own thoughts. Is this a thought that's going to move me forward in life? Is this a thought that's going to expand me and my abilities? Is this a thought that's going to spread harmony in the world? If not, take a deeper look at it. Is there any purpose, value, etc. for continuing to hold this thought and nurturing it, right? Or would it be in my highest and best good to change this thought, even if I'm feeling some resistance to doing so? Good morning, Barb. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So, that quote again. Thoughts are boomerangs, returning with precision to their source. Choose wisely what you throw. So, Tosha says, a strange metaphysical truth. Prosperity is never conditional upon the state of your bank account, but upon the state of your mind. Matrika Shakti is the Sanskrit term for the supreme power of one's own word. We craft our world by what we say. That's a powerful statement. We craft our world by what we say. Again, when I was going after a career car and directorship in Mary Kay, the CD that I listened to over and over and over again was by Joanne Barnes, called What You Talk About. What you talk about, you bring about. That was her point. What are you spending your precious time and energy rehashing and putting out into the world? So here's Tosha's story to make this point. 2 women called me from opposite ends of the spectrum. One, named Marie, was a savvy entrepreneur who sold an internet company at the start of the tech boom. Overnight, she became a multimillionaire who owned several houses around the world. Yet she called to say, do you know how hard it is to live on $2 million a year? With all my expenses, seriously, it's not that much. Every night I seethe in regret that I didn't sell my company for more. I can barely sleep. Thank you, Abigail, for putting that up, because this story is going to be a perfect example of that. We craft our world by what we say and what we think and what we believe. I was so flabbergasted I spit my tea all over the phone and had to run for a towel. Really? I laughed, wiping the receiver. Then why not sell a couple of the homes? Does your happiness depend on 5? Oh, I never could, she protested. I've waited all my life for them, but no one will believe me. I'm often broke. She continued to call often to bemoan her resources. Thank you, Gwen. Appreciate it. The more times we hear it, hopefully the more it sinks deeply into our tissues and we begin to live accordingly. One day, finally, I'd had it. I said, Marie, I adore you, but listen, I've never owned a house and I live in an apartment, yet I feel like a frickin' Queen of England whenever we talk. I mean, how do I have more than enough, but you don't? So are you ready to change how you talk about money? I didn't hear from her again for a long time. Surprise, surprise. Good morning, Maureen. Glad you're here. Welcome. Then she called out of the blue to say she'd declared bankruptcy. Through a series of strange upheavals, she'd lost almost everything. Her word of poverty had indeed become her law. She set it up to happen. She created it. She created it through her fears and her lack mentality. She created it. So those of you who are struggling with money right now are probably saying, I don't think that way. I'm not doing that. Why am I not getting anywhere? Even that question, why am I not getting anywhere, reaffirms that you're not getting anywhere. We really must watch our language. We must watch our language. And so you might be thinking, well, what do I say instead? Practice that technique that we've talked about a couple of times here, where you talk and act and live as if the end is already accomplished. So let's say you want to be in a place where money just isn't a concern. You can buy what you need. You have enough for the things that you require, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to look at price tags, however you want it to be, right? Start living as if that's the case. Do that. I've told you about my friend who did the Millionaire Mondays. She'd get all dressed up and take a bunch of friends out for lunch. That was her way of sending the message to the universe. I'm ready for this. I've practiced. I know how to do this. I am ready. We can do that. We can do that on small scales, large scales, whatever. But we have to watch the thought process. Well, just this once I'll buy this thing, and you can feel the clenching, can't you? Release that. Let that go on the breath. Practice it with the breath work. Releasing all that no longer serves you. A scarcity mindset does not serve you. Live in today. Live in possibility. Live in that world of this is how I want things to be, as if it's already accomplished. So here's the other person. Meanwhile, Lori, the other client, lives a modest life, but exists in a true state of grace. Her gratitude and openness pretty much draw whatever she needs. Parking spaces beckon in crowded neighborhoods. Extra jobs arrive for extra expenses. Loyal friends fall from the sky. And she wasn't always like this. She used to be a jealous Taurus who seriously resented anyone else's good fortune. But she taught herself a new way to be. If she can teach herself a new way to be, we can teach ourselves new ways to be. And we practice, right? We practice. So don't overhaul your entire life at once. Pick an area, pick something. I'm going to change my crappy thoughts about money. I'm going to adjust my crappy thoughts about relationships. Whatever it is, I'm going to address my physical needs better. Whatever, okay? She always says, I have no idea how, but miracles constantly arrive. My needs are always met. Now, just even that sentence, my needs are always met. If you truly adopted that, if you lived from that, if you breathed that, all would be well. Would I say that nothing bad is going to happen? Not necessarily. Life is life. But how you react to things that happen is going to be markedly different. Yes, she taught herself a new way to be. Let's see here. So this same person, Lori, who has the modest means, recently she felt an urge to travel to Asia, but had no superfluous funds. Undeterred, she invoked divine order and just waited. Yes, our needs are always met. She said, if I'm meant to go, let the perfect conditions come. Otherwise, let me be content where I am. So she's turned this into a win-win proposition. If the funds show up for Asia, she goes to Asia and has a wonderful experience. If the funds don't show up, she's content where she is. Win-win. She was cool either way. The day before she needed to buy her ticket, a neighbor called who made films. These are California folks. So that might not be the venue for us, but other things show up. He asked if he could rent her home for a shoot, offering her the exact travel amount. There are no accidents. Another time, she waited in Manhattan for a bus during a blizzard, sorry that she had forgotten her shawl. Spying a wool scarf a few feet away on the snowy sidewalk, she walked over and put it on, laughing that it was fuchsia, the color of her coat. The Shakti as perfect stylist. I joked that she has so much faith and generosity, the angels compete to help her. There's nothing she needs that doesn't arrive, one surprising way or another, sometimes in the final hour. Now that's abundance. Part of how I think, there's so many ways we get in our own way, but part of how I think we get in our way is by demanding that it be a certain way. You know, I'm going to make something up. My great aunt should give me money now, not when she's dead, because I could use it now. Focusing on that great aunt as the bringer of gifts, right? Open it up to the universe. However this is meant to come to me, it comes to me. There's myriad ways that what you need can show up. Allow the universe to provide in the way that the universe sees fit. So if you think a certain something should happen in a certain way, maybe put that in your God jar. Okay, I'm not only putting this in here because I want to see this manifest, but I'm putting this in here because I need to let go of the how. I need to let go of the how. I need to let it unfold in divine right timing and divine right order. I'm so happy and grateful now that. For me, memorizing that little blurb was very helpful. I have everything I need. It comes to me in divine right timing and divine right order. I'm so happy and grateful to receive it. Just some little reminder that you can hearken back to whenever that old stinking thinking starts pervading the system again. So my favorite one always is expansive consciousness dissolves obstacles. And what I perceive as an obstacle may actually be an integral part of the process. It might be the test of how badly do you want this thing? Are you going to find your way around this obstacle? It could be, wait a minute, go a little bit more this way and something even better is going to unfold. I don't always know why the obstacles, seeming obstacles, are put in my path, but I do believe they're there for a reason, and to pause and not lament the obstacle so much as to, isn't that interesting? I wonder what that's meant to teach me. Much better approach, much better approach. Does this take practice? Yes. Are we capable of learning new things? Yes. So that is it for our Monday. Taking a look at your own thought processes. Where are you setting yourself up to receive less than you actually have available to you? It might be in trying to dictate what it is or how it's going to come. It might be in doubt. It might be in feeling a lack of deservingness. There's all kinds of junk that gets in our way. Go digging for that junk and let it go. Let it go. It's not serving you. It is not helpful. So I can't wait to hear what all we're manifesting as we move forward in divine right order and divine right timing. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.